What up, what up, what up? I'm Derek Furlow Jr. and welcome to Sports Life Business, the ultimate transition. And man, do I have a treat for you all today. I got a friend with me, a legend with me in the soccer world, Melissa Rood, or is that did we keep the last name to the middle name or?
Yeah, actually we kept the whole name and then added Rood on, so.
Boom!
Yep.
Well, I got a guest for y'all, and she's gonna give y'all some nuggets, some insight on how to take those lessons you learn in sports and transition them in your life and in your business. But there's gonna probably be people watching this that they don't know you or your background. So do me a favor, introduce yourself to the people and what sports you played and where you played and the years you played.
Yeah. So my name is Melissa Rood. I'm originally from a town called Lancaster, Pennsylvania. It's about 45 minutes to an hour north of Philadelphia. I was born and raised there, played soccer my whole life, ended up taking a scholarship to play soccer at the University of Tennessee in Knoxville. So I got there in 2007 and played there up until I graduated in 2011, and I've been in Tennessee ever since.
Awesome. So you said you played soccer all of your life.
I did, yes.
At what age did you get introduced to this game?
Oh gosh. Introduced always because my older brother and sister played. So I was always around it, always at games and playing. But when I started playing myself, I was probably 5 or 6. I guess whatever age is you're in that little league, like miniature league and stuff like that. So probably about 5 or 6.
Okay, 5 or 6. So when did you actually realize you were good?
Right away.
Of course.
No, I'm kidding. I mean, it was fairly quick. You kind of learn and get a feel. And we traveled a lot, because I was playing up in age groups, and to do that took a lot of time, and to get to be on the best teams and to travel and all of that and get seen, it took a lot of dedication from my parents as well, just driving me all over the country, driving me everywhere, during the week, during school hours, things like that. But pretty early on, I knew, and so did my family, that it was kind of my thing, I guess, or something that I was going to do for a long time.
Gotcha. So at what point did you say, hey, with me being good at soccer, this is what's going to help me get my college education, or this was going to help me advance my life and my career playing sports?
That's a good question. I knew I wanted to play soccer for a long time early on. I guess when I started really thinking about like college and having that be a leeway to get me to college, really honestly probably wasn't until I was in high school until I really grasped the whole concept of like how much money it costs to go to college, what it takes to get there, and all that stuff. So I would say soccer to college, probably high school, in terms of what it could do for me to help get me there. But knowing that I wanted to play for as long as I could was always in the back of my head.
Gotcha. So knowing you wanted to play as long as you could, what was the end goal for you knowing you wanted to play as long as you could? What was the dream for you? Because I know me growing up, it was football, NFL. What was, as a female playing soccer, you had the USA team that were animals. So what was the dream goal for you at the end of the day for soccer?
Absolutely. Well, when I was younger, definitely, you wanted to be just like Mia Hamm and Brady Chastain and that whole crew. So absolutely, when I was younger, getting on the Olympic team and winning a gold medal, all of that, I think every little girl and guy who plays any sport, wants to be the ultimate that they can. As I got older though and things got more realistic, that kind of changed, and it was really just making sure that I could be the best that I could, play the best that I could at my university to help them advance as far as we possibly could to a championship. But when I was younger, my ultimate goal was definitely to be on the national team, for sure.
Gotcha. So in the process of being on that national team, was there any, hey, if I play soccer this good and I make it to the national team, I can have a career and this is what I can do for a living? Was that a goal or something that you really wanted out of it?
Again, when I was younger, yes. As I got older and realized, how the business works, I think it may have shifted a little bit. But absolutely, when I was younger, I was like, I'm going to play soccer forever until I can't play anymore.
At what time frame, you said you got older, at what time frame did that reality of how the business work? What time frame was that?
It was probably when I got into college. Yeah. So even in high school, I was still a little ignorant to that whole process. So when I got into college was definitely when I kind of realized the business aspect of playing a professional sport after you were finished with school.
So there's going to probably be some people that watch this that still don't understand the business aspect. What part did you realize from the business aspect that helped you realize the reality of the likelihood or the bigger picture that it might not happen?
Yeah.
What do you feel? What helped you figure that out, and what part of it made you say, okay, that might not happen, I got to be prepared?
For me, yeah. Well, like there's a skill level, obviously. So knowing I had a lot of friends and acquaintances growing up that I played with up north and all over the country that you know just were better than I was, and so you know that those individuals have the passion and the dedication and the skill to take it to the next level. You know, so there's a level, I guess a point that you reach from a skill standpoint that you're like, I could maybe do it, but do I want to put in all that extra physical and mental and emotional effort to do this as a career? So again, probably right when I got into college and I started playing at that next level, which is obviously above your club level and all of that stuff that you're used to in high school, and you see immediately the amount of mental energy, physical, emotional that it takes just to play college sport, you kind of are like, dang, it is a lot of work, you know? And then you think, oh my gosh, like if this is so, you know, hard balancing act with everything and this is real tough on me and all those aspects, I can only imagine what it's going to be, you know, when I'm playing it as a career and for an even larger business. And so it was probably about that time that I realized, even from a skill level and what it would take to be there, that I was like, maybe I don't want to do this. And then, you know, compensation as well is one of those things. I mean, women's sports, I think, in general can sometimes, you know, from a pay standpoint, there can be a disconnect and stuff. And so I kind of started to just really evaluate from, you know, being on my own and not having my parents anymore, any scholarship money to take care of myself, what was that going to look like financially for me? So it was all probably in those first early years of college that all of that started to weigh in, and that's probably when I made the decision that I was like, cool, I think I'm good with being the best that I can be in college, and then taking all of what I've learned to the non-professional sports world and going from there.
That's a great evaluation. How many people do you feel that's in your arena had that evaluation early, or how many people you feel knew it in their head but never took it serious enough to evaluate it in that process?
I would say a lot. I mean, the key thing I think you said was that they maybe didn't voice that they, you know, knew that that's where they were going to be, or that that's the route that they wanted to go. Because I think when you voice it early on, there's that level of doubt in your head. So most of the people wait till it just maybe doesn't happen for them, and then they come to the terms with it. I was just kind of okay with it from the get-go. I just knew once I got into college and kind of felt how it was, I was like, you know what, I'm okay if this isn't what I do forever. But yeah, I think it's more than people think, honestly. And I think a lot of it does come down to that skill level. It takes a lot of skill and heart and passion and smarts, you know, to get to a college level. And then some people, that is their ultimate goal, and they kind of realize that, and I think any sport, not just soccer, that like, hey, this is probably from that aspect as far as I'm going to go.
Gotcha.
You know, I may not be as good as the other people in the leagues, or I just may not really want to do it. I mean, that's okay. I mean, that's totally fine for people who are happy with attaining college level or high school level, and they're good with that.
That makes sense. So I always wondered, because from football, I know a lot of football players, regardless of where you at, it's always, I'm gonna make it to the NFL, and then it normally has to be the I didn't make it, and they still hoop dream and still think they're gonna make it. From soccer, do you feel that some soccer players, or just any across the board, any athlete, may have knew they might not make it, but if they would have actually admitted it, it would have cut down on the work ethic they put in while in college?
Yeah.
So you kind of got to stay in denial?
Yeah. So, and then, and just like I'm sure any other sport, you know, there's leagues all over the world. So if you happen to not here in the States, there's overseas in Europe, and so, and in soccer, that is a big thing as well. So most guys and gals who maybe don't make the league here in the States, or they maybe go overseas for a while, that can again just prolong the more that I keep doing it, you know, maybe my day will come.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think with those avenues, it will prolong the reality of this will either come to an end at some point, and maybe that'll be 30 years after I've been doing it, or 3 seconds after I've been doing it.
That makes sense. So you get to college, you're playing on this stage. Was that dream and that end goal, was it all you expected it to be, or was it more, or could you imagine it being any different than what it was?
Oh gosh. Yes and no. Yes, I was excited, and I knew, just from watching other sports on TV and coming from a big sports family, and then knowing that I was going to the University of Tennessee, which was a huge SEC school. I mean, I knew it was going to be exciting, and that it was going to be hard, and it was going to be fun. But I don't think you're ever really prepared for what it is actually going to be like until you get down there.
Yeah.
So I mean, that platform was it was amazing. And I've played in a lot of different places all over the country, all over the world, and I've played with a lot of amazing girls and guys who have gone on to do amazing things and are very impressive. And it still is just crazy to think from going from high school or not in college to that college sports level is you can't prepare for it.
Absolutely.
I personally don't think you can prepare for it at all.
Absolutely. I'm 100% with you.
And everything, whether it's the actual talent that you're putting out on the field or on the court versus everything else that goes along with it, which is, I think, that's probably the most of what myself, and I'm sure I can speak for others, you don't quite comprehend that as you're getting into college. You just think, I just got to go and pass some fitness tests and not get in trouble and play the best I can, score some goals, save some goals, whatever, and not thinking about I gotta graduate, or I gotta pass a test, or get study hall hours, or eat, all that stuff, sleep, everything. So
sleep? No one sleeps.
I know. For too many naps. I guess I should call it a nap.
Yeah, a nap. That makes sense. So when you play, you achieve some pretty significant achievements.
Mm-hmm.
Tell people some of these achievements you achieved, not for you to brag, because of course you wouldn't brag about yourself. I'm going to do that. But you achieved some pretty significant achievements, and that everybody don't achieve those things.
Yeah, absolutely. So I personally, my freshman year, so the first year that I played there, there was an all rookie first team for a top drawer soccer poll, I guess is what it was. So there was a lot of girls who made that, myself included. That was probably the one thing individually that I ever earned in a college level. But as a team and as a unit, we, I think it was my freshman year, we won, made it to the Sweet 16, which was awesome. And then we ended up winning an SEC championship as well. So that was really, really cool. So I was very fortunate, really excited and honored in my 4 years to have earned that, because I know that, it's just huge in our conference. So that was really, really, really fun.
Absolutely right. So you're in college, you made some strides, made some major achievements in your sport. Mm-hmm. And then it comes down to the time where, of course, you're finna get to graduate. Real life is either coming or you're going to play sports. When you knew that you was finna graduate, and you already made up your mind earlier that you're okay if college soccer is the highest level you play at, did you get some opportunities to play professionally? And if you did, what was your thought process on it? Because, of course, earlier when you had made up your mind, I'm okay with playing here, if opportunities presented themselves, knowing you had already evaluated, some people still find it hard to say no to just because the opportunities presented themselves. Yeah.
For me personally, no, I wasn't recruited or approached by any team or individual for the next level after college. But I also didn't show any interest in that. Not that would have necessarily affected the other. It may or may not have, but I really didn't show any interest to do anything further. And then there was nothing really coming in to have me go anything further. And like I said, early on, I knew that was okay, and I was good with that. Yes and no.
That's good. So from that point moving forward, you knew you was gonna have a life after sports.
Yeah.
Before you got into your life after sports, what are some things that you figured that sports taught you while you was playing?
How long do we have? It really taught me a lot. I think the biggest thing though that the two to three biggest things that I can really take away from my personal time at Tennessee and that program and what that taught me, obvious time management and multitasking is a huge thing. Being able to time manage your school, your study, your friends, your personal life, your sports life, mental, everything. In addition with multitasking, I can speak for anybody any level of sports. Yeah, I mean, you're traveling to your to the destination that you're going. You gotta study on the bus. You gotta get with your teachers. You're on the phone with them. Hey, I gotta miss this test on Friday. What can I do? You gotta study while you're before your pregame or whatever. Do some quizzes or anything. So doing all of that while still trying to maintain the mentality of getting game ready, honestly, is a real challenge. And then obviously be able to